There are two categories of recoveries. We have monetary recoveries and we have non-monetary recoveries. As to the identity of people benefiting from our recoveries, individuals, corporate organizations, state government, federal government, I think the sum and substance of all this, the victim of any fraudulent act will eventually benefit from the recovery of whatever is made. When we go out to investigate, if an individual petitions us that this and this and this and this happened, at the end of our investigation, if a recovery is made, we will return it to the individual. We have had cause to return properties to state governments, corporate institutions, federal government, and victims of fraud. It is important for us to know that when we say recoveries are made, it is not everything that goes into the covers of the federal government. It is very, very important for us to understand. Like the 566 billion that was recovered in 2 years, part of the money went to so many victims of fraud. It is not the entire amount that went into the federal government. The one that went into the federal government account, they are the percentage of the money that was finally forfeited to the government by judicial processes and procedures. Those one went to the government. So, victims of fraud, individuals, corporate entities, government, whoever is a victim, at the end of the resolution of the matter, we will determine where the money will go by the decision of the court. Now, as per recovery data, the identity of those that benefited from that, we have a very large number of beneficiaries. But I think I've been able to simplify the way, the modality, and the framework of getting all the recoveries back to the victims. Whoever is a victim, if at the end of the resolution of the matter, based on the decision of the court, we will follow what the court has decided, and we will return the property as directed. Now, concerning the issue of terrorism financing, Chinedu wanted to know why the so-called sponsors of terror, why they have not been unveiled, why the EFCC have maybe paraded them and all of that. If you are conversant with the Terrorism Financing Act 2022, if you know what the law says, the law does not say that if we are being able to block funds that can be traced to terrorism, we should go ahead and say, okay, it is Chinedu, it is Emeka, it is Dele, it is British that is behind it. No, our job is to ensure that funds that are traced to any kind of terror activities, our job is to make sure that we track those funds, we block those funds, and we make it impossible for any terrorist activity, to be consummated through such funds. And that we are doing. But we might not be able to tell you who and who know. The act that empowers us to do that does not empower us, to come with the full identities. It is an intelligence thing, and the commission is not empowered to do that. I think those are the questions. Yeah, the 753 properties in the local Goma axis of Abuja, that was forfeited to the government December 10, 2024. After the final resolution of the matter, that is the final forfeiture of those properties, government directed that the commission should hand over all of those properties to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. and we acted accordingly. All of those properties, they have been handed over to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, and they are being remodeled, they are being reconfigured, in such a way that when everything is ready, members of the public will be invited, to make their decision. Whoever wants any of the units, there is a vast estate, 753 units of duplexes and other apartments. So I think the ministry is doing that. We have done what the government asked us to do. We have handed it over to the ministry. And if you are to hear anything about that again, it will have to come from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you so much.
The issue of terrorism financing. The EFCC representative has done justice to the question asked. But what I will add is that just one or two things. You may recall that Nigeria was exited from the FFTF Financial Action Task Force Grey List. The Grey List is popularly known as the list of jurisdictions, list of countries' jurisdictions that the anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing, and proliferation financing is more or less under monitoring. Last month, on the 24th of October, Nigeria was delisted from that list. This is an indication that Nigeria has had a pass mark from the Financial Action Task Force, which is a global watchdog for AML CFT framework. So it's an indication that, of course, the intelligence agencies are doing very well in terms of handling issues related to terrorism financing, anti-corruption, and so on and so forth. So identifying who is financing terrorism or who are the sponsors actually is an intelligent issue that you cannot just come and reveal it in the media, because after NFI, we provided the intelligence to the agencies that are requested for it. If we come out and say we have identified so-so person and so-so person has done this, I think we may likely to, tamper the investigation they are doing. So in conclusion, Nigeria is doing very well, and congratulations to Nigeria for exiting the grey list. Thank you very much.
If we listen carefully to the DG, he did mention that if you've been following, the happenings on the establishment of the actus across MDAs, you will note that every now and then we go around doing this. And in fact, in the last few months, we've redoubled our efforts. And so, my friend from the media, kindly check on our website. We keep updating that there. And then the second question that I think was asked that we have something to mention about is on what we do with recoveries from assets disposal, the assets disposal. If you look on our website, precisely on the 23rd of October, the Honorable Chairman of the ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, did issued news to the public on the fact that in the year 2024, just in 1 year, the ICPC successfully, put together all of these recovered assets and disposed successfully for the year 2024. The total number, that came to the figure, the recovery in short, what we got in terms of monetary is 1.86 billion naira. Is there in the open. Some of you here reported it widely. So we have records by the month, we have biannual records, we have quarterly, and we have annual. So just to mention that.
Before I answer that question, I want to quickly respond to, there was another question somebody asked about, it was a general question where he said, what are the steps taken to curb proliferation of fake news? I think if you want to get a good apple, you go to the apple tree. An apple that is not tainted, that is not rotten. So if you want the correct news from us as an agency, I mean the Nigerian Police Force, you go to the Public Relations Department to confirm whatever information you have and you wanted clarification on. That is our position. Anything you see, you don't believe everything you see on the social media space. Always confirm before you go to press. That is our position as far as curbing fake news. Now, concerning the issue of confidentiality, it has been a major challenge for us, and the Nigerian Police Force has actually taken a very bold step, and not even today. And what I'm saying now dates back to 3-4 years ago, where the Inspector General of Police then directed that all divisional headquarters should have what we call a complaint box, not inside the police premises, but outside by the gates, where you can actually drop your whatever information you have without compromising your identity. That still stands. Last week or thereabout, I was in Uyo for a program on mutual accountability and community safety program with International Alerts. And this question actually resonated. And the Inspector General of Police has directed commissioners of police to send out their escorts to all divisions to make sure that directive is complied with, because we can't act without information. And we can only get information from you, members of the community, members of the public. And where you are afraid of your identity because of this issue of confidentiality, that is the safest place for you to just drop it anonymously and it will be acted upon. In addition to that, I always say this: try wherever you reside to get the number of the divisional police officer or the control room. Particularly the control room, nobody is seeing you. Pass your information. That information will be cascaded to the relevant division, area command, or even command where you want that information acted upon. So this is what we do. Please, I beg you, I'm using this opportunity, get the control room number for each state. What we do, if you've gone to our website, discover that we display the numbers of all the PROs. I think we are going to also include the numbers of all the control room. We've done that before, but we need to update it because we had 1 or 2 challenges with our website recently, but we're going to update that information so that you can always call the control room. You don't need to come. Even when you have issues where you want to seek redress for your right being violated, we have the PCB, the Public Complaint Bureau, stationed in the force headquarters and all command headquarters where you can actually lodge your complaint. We also have what we call the Complaint Response Unit, CRU. You can equally lodge your complaints there. I had the opportunity of interfacing with somebody yesterday for over 2 hours that had issues with some of our personnel somewhere around Abeokuta and Ijebode Expressway. I can tell you that as at this morning, we've already gotten the identity of those policemen because the complainant was willing to go a step further to make sure his right was actually redressed, as in the issue of a violation of his right was actually redressed, and we're able to identify this. So please, when you have a complaint, don't just sit down and then drop this thing on the social media space without taking any step. Come forward, we are ready to work with you. That is how we build trust. That is how we close the gap between us and the community. Thank you very much.